Okay, so good morning, everyone. My name's Taryn Kendall, and I'm the PTO co-president for the middle school. Thanks for joining us this morning. Before I hand everything over to Anne-Marie McSweeney, I just wanted to give a couple of PTO reminders. The first one is that Picture Day is coming up. You should have received an email yesterday regarding that with information about ordering in advance online. That makes it really easy for your student because they can just then walk through, get their picture taken. They don't have to bring any piece of paper and potentially lose it on their way to school. So that is an easy way to do it. If you have any questions, you can email Cheryl Ropa, who's also on the call, or I, and we're at jjmspto@yahoo.com. And then the second reminder and last one is that we have a great organizational skills presentation specifically for middle schoolers that's coming up on October 20th. Jeff Tepper is going to present that. It's got a lot of great information and some real, things you can actually do right now to sort of help your student get organized. And that is coming up. It's going to be on October 20th, and it's at 9:30 in the morning. As always, if for some reason you can't attend at that time, the PTO records all of our meetings and then we post them on our website. So I guess that sort of sums it up for the PTO, and I will hand it over to school counselor Anne-Marie McSweeney.
All right, good morning, everyone. Anne-Marie McSweeney, I'm very happy to be here. We actually just had a lockdown drill a few minutes ago. We were running around with clipboards and walkie-talkies, and I was filling in for someone. So I can't believe I opened every door with the key appropriately, because normally I like my hands shaking and I'm not very good. So anyway, I'm happy to be here because this is a much easier task for me. Anyway, so I'm going to talk a little bit about the Counseling Center. Also talk about ways to get information, and we also have our library media specialist, Jen, you said, to also talk about the library as well. Monica Bermise will also be talking about some things as well. So I'm going to share my screen. Give me a second. Like you, I haven't been doing that much Zoom in a while either. I think I should hopefully be good. Okie doke. All right. Okie doke. Here we are, PTO conversations, and I'll try to make it more of a conversation, even though it'll be more like a monologue of me talking to myself. But hopefully you get some information, and I would just say, please follow up with me with any questions that you have. I am faster on email. My email is on my slide, but feel free to email me. You can call as well, but I think I get back to people quicker via email because I can always do it during a meeting or something. All right. So overview, we're going to be talking about a little bit about the Counseling Center and what we have to offer here, specifically about what the counselors do, and really specifically about sixth grade. Like I said, we'll talk about the library program here at the middle school, the team building activity, which of course we just had, and also how that will progress throughout the year, because we will weave more opportunities for team building throughout the year. And Monica will also talk about lunch and recess, because I know that's a hot topic. All righty, how do I get information? There are lots of different ways, and sometimes it feels like not enough, and sometimes it feels like overkill and a lot, and I get that. I have kids in a different district, and they use different apps totally, so I'm always finding myself navigating and fumbling just like all of you. So you're not alone, but I promise you what you'll see over time is that your child will really be the one to take the reins on really being responsible for what they have to do on a daily basis, knowing how to access the information. And while it's great and we encourage parents to keep tabs and check in, if you're not sure about where to access something, I would start with your child, because as the year goes on, they're going to become more and more confident in all of the apps and all of the ways that we use media here at the middle school. So feel free to start with them, and then you can always reach out to me, or if it's a specific app with your child's teacher, feel free to reach out to the teacher as well. Some of our main ways, obviously, is the JGMS website has got lots of information on it. We're not going to show you how to use that today. I think you guys by now can pretty much navigate that. You'll see at the top is a part for parents. There's a lot of club links and everything like that. Feel free, if you're not sure how to navigate something, please reach out to me. I'm happy to assist. There's also a section called quick links, which is always good for some very popular links. You can just click on there. Any problems with that, let me know. Student planner, which has been brought back. I might even have one in my desk over here. Planners, they've made a comeback. I don't think we had them last year, but they're great. And teachers in 6th grade have been having students use them. They are used for students to put all of their homework assignments in and to plan for upcoming projects. Even though we do have, obviously, Schoology, we are encouraging students to use the planner and to use it thoughtfully. This way, when they're in the classroom and in that moment in time, when they see the homework assignment up on the whiteboard or up on the smart board, they can then write it in and kind of intellectually say, okay, so I have this to do for my homework tonight. And they can ask a follow-up question if they need be, rather than just waiting until they go home to log on to Schoology. So definitely this is a great resource. And if your child does lose it, I do have a couple extras. They probably won't last for long, but I'm happy to hand one out and as long as I have them. Next thing is Outlook 365. I know students are just starting to learn to navigate that. Some students might have used it last year, some students might not have. But emailing is great. I met with a student this morning and she said that she does use Outlook for her team. It might vary per team. Some students may use it more than others, but during the year, all students will get to learn how to be more proficient with all of the online things we have, Word, Excel, PowerPoint, etc. They'll become pros by the end of the year, and I'll be asking them questions for sure. Schoology. So I think this is the big one. I think obviously the middle school, we went full force with it last year. I believe some elementary schools used Schoology more than others, which is fine. This year, everyone's been given a lot of support here in the middle school, the students, on how to navigate Schoology. And don't worry, they're still learning. So I know it can feel overwhelming for parents to look at all this information, all the tabs, whatnot. If you give it a month, I guarantee you will see that your child will really be able to understand how to navigate all the little ins and outs of the app and to do it successfully. And don't hesitate to reach out to the teacher if you have a question as to how to access something. They're more than happy to answer questions. They fielded so many questions last year. The teachers in the 6th grade are quite good at Schoology now. So that's a lucky break for the 6th graders this year. I also have, and I will show you quickly, all the students in the 6th grade have on their schedule like a counselor assignment, which is me. So because of that, I actually have my own Schoology page, which I will be using occasionally to send updates to parents. I will not be flooding you with information, but it was great to use last year when I had 8th grade because I was able to put a lot of information and resources, which I haven't done yet, but I will be able to use it over time to send parents information that's just specifically from me and for the 6th grade. So if you get something from me, not to worry. Okay, so other apps. This is really more team specific. Like for example, some teams are choosing different apps that they're teaching their students to use. For example, one is Padlet. I know one teacher is using Padlet a lot and posting all of her homework there every day and for the week. So if you're not sure if your child's using it, you can feel free to ask if your child's using any apps that you haven't heard of. There's so many resources now, and some apps are better for different things like videos or sharing. So that's why they're using things other than just Schoology. And of course, we have the PTO newsletter and website. Of course, they have their newsletter and their own website. So that's also a great place to get information. Okay, role of the school counselor. I know I've spoken about this at quite a few presentations already. So I think you guys all kind of get the gist of what I do, but I'll just kind of give you a sense of where we are now and what I'm doing with students in the present day. So right now, my biggest goal right now is to make sure that kids are feeling comfortable and supported and getting to know students, which is for me to have them all here in the building, masks, whatever, they're here. So it's great for me. Meeting 8th graders on Zoom last year was, I'll be honest, was pretty painful. So being able to have students in my office and to have conversations to 6th graders who are so excited to be in school and to connect has been really wonderful. At this point, I'm really working with students when things come up, which of course is students dealing with anxiety, just struggling with just trying to deal with just adjusting to school, not only a new school, but post-COVID. Some of our students hadn't been in school for a year and a half. So I'm really spending a lot of time with students who just need day-to-day support, whether it be first thing in the morning, getting a little help to get out of the car, or it could be something during the day that's just kind of tripping them up. I will tell you that once I meet with a student once or twice, we're usually able to nip something in the bud and fix it and work on it and move forward. And I really have enjoyed getting to know the students. I also do participate in all of the parent conferences. So if we don't have, like in the elementary school, a time where everyone has a conference, but the teachers feel like they would like to have a conference with you, they will reach out to you, or I will reach out to you, and we will set up a conference. Or if you're feeling like you really would like to reach out to the teachers and you would like to share some information, or if you have some concerns or questions, you are always welcome to reach out to the team leader of your child's team and ask for a parent conference. If you're not sure who that is, you can just email me and I'm happy to tell you and forward your email along. I also spend a lot of time with CSE meetings, special education meetings, 504 meetings, anything that involves student needs and supports here in our building. I don't have it on the list, but I also meet with each team individually once a week with Monica Burmese, and we talk about concerns with students, and we talk about ways to help students and support students. We come up with plans. We then reflect upon, okay, what are we going to do next? And then the next thing we talk about what we did and how it was resolved, and if we had to follow up further. So I do that all year long. I meet with all the teams every week. It's great. And I got to tell you that sixth grade teachers are great about communicating. I get a lot of emails and texts. So I'm in communication all day, every day, and not just on the team meeting day. And also I spend some time with conflict resolution with students, which obviously for students, anytime in sixth grade, you're going to have conflict resolution. I mean, they're 11 years old. They have to get some skills and learn how to work with students and peers and being able to navigate those social tricky waters. And I've already been working with students already with little things that pop up, and we try to work with them and figure out ways to get along and to give and take in a relationship. And we kind of take it for granted as adults. But for these students at this age, they do need a lot of support. So we try to really give kids the time and a quiet place in order to do that in my office. And I would just say, one thing about peer relationships right now, I know for sixth grade parents, I know a lot of parents are very anxious and nervous about their child making friends and getting along with others. And I would just say this takes time. It takes time in the best of circumstances, and it definitely takes more time now. They don't have the practice that students often have to interact with one another. So it's going to take them a little more time, but they're going to get there. Now, I have little ones, but my son hasn't been to a birthday party in a year and a half, and he just got like 4 invitations within a week. And I was like, yes, he will be there. He has to interact with other kids, please. So we'll get there's a process, but we're with them and we will help them through it. That's the most important thing of the year, is to really get these kids feeling socially comfortable and ready to really make it in the real world. And that's why we're here. Communication between home and school. There's many different ways you can reach out to me. Email, obviously you can always call, or like I said, Schoology updates. You can send me a message on Schoology as well if that works for you. I'm on everything all day long, so not a problem. Then we have our counseling curriculum, and I will be doing some push-in work with the students throughout the year. So I'm still really working on just getting to know the students. So what we traditionally do is for sixth grade counselors, do small groups, which is just getting to know students and having students get to know me and understand the process of the guidance office and how to make an appointment and when can you come in to see Max Sweeney and how can you reach me. So I'm looking forward to those small groups. I will probably be doing them in pullouts from PE class. I'll probably try to do like 10 at a time. Maybe we'll go outside or sit at the picnic table or somewhere that's socially distanced, of course, but somewhere where we can be a little more intimate in our discussion and hopefully get to know students, for the students to get to know each other better and for me to also get to know the students. The next thing I'm looking to do is a check-in survey. I did one of these when we were in lockdown, when I had 7th grade, like 2 years ago. And I have to tell you, it was like really informative. because some kids who may not want to let me know about something that's on their mind, you send them a form, a Microsoft form link. And even though as adults, we get sick of surveys, kids love surveys and they love being to tell you about themselves and what they're feeling. So I got so much information from students from that check-in survey. And so that is a goal of mine to do that in the upcoming months so I can know, do you need a check-in? Is there something you want to tell me about? You haven't been able to have the courage to come in and tell me. I will tell you that by the end of 6th grade, they will be more than comfortable in coming into me. And then I can't kick them out of my office if I wanted to. They want to come in and chat, which is great. So I'm looking forward to that comfortable level. And a lot of students have already visited my office. I'm still figuring out what I want to do for lessons because I really want to wait to see what the specific needs are with this particular class. But how I'm seeing it right now, I'm looking at possibly topics of perseverance, improving social connections, and preparing for 7th grade. I will talk about scheduling with them for 7th grade, but that'll be later in the spring. So those are my main topics I'm looking to push into with the 6th grade. Okay, and on to an extremely great event, team building in 6th grade. I had the pleasure of not going once.
Do you want to get going?
Yeah, as soon as you're ready.
Do you want to drive?
One second here. Sorry, 1 second. I had the pleasure of going to the team building event 3 times, not just once. And I got to see kids in action, which is great. And for all of us who went to these 8th grade, remember the 8th grade Washington trip, either when we were in 8th grade or we did do them when I was first here at the middle school. And, you know, they're great and teachers have great intentions about having this great event. But I have to say, when you're talking about an event that has time on task and percentage of time where students are engaged, this very simple day event, I think was, hands down a really great event. Whereas the 8th grade Washington trips, we'd have like, when can we go to the gift shop? When will we hang out with our friends because they're away for the first time? This was really great because the kids, they took to it really well. And I'm sure you've heard about it from your children when they came home. What the real main charge of BOCES is really for kids to focus on team building, working on how do I work as a team? How do we really manage being able to work together? How do I manage my own impulsivity? Who's going to show some leadership? How do I demonstrate patience when something isn't working out? It was really great how it was set up. Kids work in small groups. So for the first half of the day, if you see the picture of the kids on the field, they did these activities right on the field where they had to come up and problem solve. And I have to tell you, when they first start, you can hear some arguing and disagreeing, but it's funny. After each task, they had to then process and talk about it. What went right? What went wrong? What was your part? What could have gone better? Where do you think you could have added more? Where do you think you could have held back and gave someone else a chance? And what was great is that you see the progression of the kids from the beginning of the day to the end of the day. And I have to tell you, and Jeff would probably agree, some of these tasks, they had to keep on going until they got it. And if I were a kid, I would have been, come on, can we just move on? But I have to tell you, like, it was really a time for kids to have to work on keep on going, persevering, trying new options, listening to others. Does someone else have a good idea that I'm not taking into account? And what I think was great, it was a very inclusive event. All students participated and the leaders were really great at being able to be sensitive to know, is everyone getting a chance to speak? Is everyone getting a chance to participate? And I have to take from a guidance counselor part of view, when I used to go on these Washington trips, it was always social drama. There was no social drama on these trips. They had a task, they were engaged the whole time. And then if you see on the second half was when the kids went into the woods for the challenges. I have to admit, some of these tasks you could have done anywhere, not really in the woods, but I guess it makes them feel that there's a special, you earn the right to go into the woods, which is great. And I got to see the dynamics, as did the teachers, of how kids work together. And what happens is the BOCES leaders, they then provided the teachers with information as to how the students work together? What were the common themes that really came up as the children were working together? What were the statements that the students made? What were the observations that they made? What did they learn about themselves? And I think the kids realized that, being able to swing from rope to rope and do flips was not the point of the event. I think some of them might have thought that, but it was really about working together. And what's going to be the nice piece is that it's not just going to stop now. So all the reflection and process that they did at this event will then continue throughout the year, because one of the things that the sixth grade teachers want to continue doing is encouraging teamwork throughout the year. And you can even see that in the hallways now, even with math, they got the whiteboards in the hallway. Any kind of teamwork is, because obviously that reflects our real life, and all of us who, whether we're on committees with the PTO or whether we're working here at John Jay Middle School, so many of us have jobs that require being able to work as a team. So I think it was really a great event. I think it was well received by the students, and thankfully we did not go on the day that it was thundering and lightning. That was a good call, Monica. So it was a great event, and I was very happy to be a part of it. Okay, I think we're going to move on to Jen. Do you want to talk about library?
Always.
All right. All right, so I gotta go back here. You share your screen. I'll figure out the PowerPoint. I'm not very good at this.
You have to stop sharing your screen first.
All right, I'm on it.
All right. Good morning, everyone. I'm Jen Usted, the library media specialist here, and I just wanted to take some time to introduce myself, talk a little bit about the library itself, and share our amazing resources that we have available to you and your children on our website. So I also have here in the library with me Susan O'Malley. She's our fabulous library clerk. We've already had a great time getting to know your students through our library orientation, which every sixth grader got at the beginning of the year. And we've also enjoyed having them pop down to get book recommendations or share books that they've read. I love talking to kids. They always light up when they've read a series and they're so eager to share it. And I love hearing about it. Your children can come down and visit the library during home base. They can come down to check out books, get recommendations. We also have iPads on loan if they happen to forget an iPad or they forget to charge it, which can happen to the best of us. They can also stop by during lunch to read or study or get another book. And we love having them come in. We've seen a lot of kids come in just for our graphic novels. We have an awesome graphic novel collection that they seem to just go through. I can't keep them on the shelves. And it's just great to see the enthusiasm as they come in and read. As for our library website, it's easy to access from the John Jay Middle School homepage. There's a link down in the quick links section that says Library Media Center, and that will bring you to our homepage. There's some information on the left-hand side about me, how to contact me. Email is best because I'm usually off either teaching classes or popping in to collaborate with teachers. So email is best, but you can call. You'll probably get Susan O'Malley on the phone, but she can pass along any information or questions. We also here have some video tutorials for anyone who wants to know how to access our ebooks or how to access our catalog. We also have a library YouTube channel that I encourage kids to take a look at. We have video tutorials on all sorts of tech things. They also have access to our library catalog from there. So if you click on this Follett Library Catalog link, that brings you to our catalog homepage. Students can search for books here. They can also, if they log in with their KLSD account, they can put books on hold, and then we pull them and they can stop by either in the morning or at lunchtime and just grab books if they don't have time to come down and browse during the day. Students can have 3 books out at a time, and they can have them out for 3 weeks. We also, if your kids want more books, we have a fabulous ebook library collection. There's a link to our ebook library on our library webpage. If you click on that, it opens up our Sora. If you're on an iPad, there is an app for it, and it's already, I think it's all preloaded onto the student's iPad, so they can just click on that, log in with their Katona Lewisboro account, and they have access to thousands of ebooks. We also have, fortunately, access to the Westchester Library ebook collection. They don't need a library card for that. There is a video tutorial on our library YouTube channel that shows them exactly how to access the Westchester Library. They have even more books than we do. So if they don't see anything that they like on our collection, they can always explore the Westchester Library collection. In addition, on our website, we have some book recommendations. If anybody is looking for books for their kids to read, or the children are looking for books, I have this Padlet that I created. And it just has a bunch of books that I've read in the past couple of months and years, and just a little blurb about them, so they can browse that and see if there's anything on there that they like. I also enjoy doing book recommendations in person, so if your kid needs a book, please have them come down and talk to me. I love talking about books. There are some research websites for class assignments. We often have 6th grade teachers coming down to do research projects, which I'm really excited about this year, especially our ancient civilization projects. I always love working and learning about all that type of stuff. There are links for information on how to access resources for those. They're accessible at home, so if your child needs to do research at home during that time, it is available on our library website. We also have access to our online databases here as well. There are tons of different ones. If you click on the BOCES link, there's everything from Britannica Encyclopedia to American History Online. There's all sorts of ones that are available. And the password, if they click on it, the username is JJMS and the password is JJMS. Not very secure, but very easy for them to remember. That's pretty much it for me. If you have any questions, like I said, please feel free to email me or call. I look forward to getting to know your children even more throughout this year and working with them on all sorts of fun projects.
Well, thanks, Jen. I'm going to share my screen again, and I believe Monica is going to take this part away. Are you there, Monica?
I'm here. And I just wanted to thank both Anne-Marie and Jennifer for just being such a wealth of knowledge and resource for our students and our school community. I know coming from elementary to middle school, there's just so much information and so much to learn. Please know that there are resources here. There are adult resources here. You just interacted with 2. But in addition, your children really will learn this information. They'll know what to do. So please encourage them to take a leadership role and to seek out Miss McSweeney, to seek out Jennifer Eusted in order to gain this information, because this is their world and they'll navigate it very quickly. And we do have the staff here to support that effort. So thank you both, a really great job. So just to talk about our lunch and recess program, at our last couple of meetings that we've had, we have talked about how lunch and recess is a 40-minute period. All of our classes are approximately 42 minutes. And while your children are eating lunch, other children are having social studies or science or ELA. We don't, as a school, eat all at the same time. So we can't extend that lunch period. Otherwise, it would throw off balance the students that are taking. We would short some academic classes and lengthen other academic classes. So we can't change the time of our lunchtime. What we have been doing, though, is changing the number of minutes that children do eat. So we've ended recess recently about 2 minutes earlier in order to provide time for kids to travel so that they can get in place and have some time to eat. So as you can see from the photos up on the slide, when we are outdoors and the grass is not wet, that center photo there is where children are eating. We do close down the circle. So if you happen to come by during that time, please do not drive into the circle. We do have cones. up so that we can show that it is an area for children at that time. But children take out their lunch, they sit with each other, some sit on the grass, some choose to sit on the curb. We have some picnic tables. We are currently eating by class, whether we are eating indoors or outdoors. We're eating as a class. And then during recess, as you can see the outside photos, the children go up to the contest field. So any of you who have driven onto campus, as you pull in, that is our contest field as you pull in on the left. We have basketball, soccer, football. Many students do walk the track. And if children want to bring in jump ropes and things, they can do so as well. So children have an opportunity to eat, and then they also have recess or vice versa. If your child is coming home and saying that they're hungry, they didn't get a chance to finish lunch for whatever reason, please seek out Miss McSweeney. Miss McSweeney can help your child either by speaking with a teacher later in the period for maybe your child to come out of class and have a quick snack. As you know, we are not eating in the classroom because the classroom right now, the desks are only 3 feet apart, and we're required indoors to eat at a 6-foot distance. So if your child is still having some concerns during lunchtime, please seek out Miss McSweeney so that she can support a plan for your child to have a snack at some point. I think that's it right now for lunch and recess. I did want to go back and just say, as far as our BOCES Environmental Education Outdoor Adventure Day, that was a progression of activities. So the students did start off with, low-level games of like red light, green light, and then they progressed to more challenging activities. And then when they did go into the woods, as you saw that photo, they were really sometimes up at a high level, and some did have fear being at that level. But since they had the morning where it was leave no person behind, they began to trust the students that were in their small group, that they would be there to assist them if they needed help or assistance, and that they would ask for it as well. So when we think about transferring those skills into the classroom, Ms. McSweeney and I will be talking to teachers in team meeting, along with Dan Novak, who is the facilitator of that organization, about how these skills can continue to grow and develop in the classroom. The students stayed in a group of 12 during the day, which were the students that they have in their class. We look forward to creating more activities that will be classroom activities, then team activities, and then grade level activities, so that by the end of the school year, your child will not only know the children in their class, they'll know the children on their team, and will have interacted with children on other teams as well. We really enjoyed the program with them this year, and we look forward to continuing to build on it. So thank you for your time.
All right.
Okay.
Did any parents have any questions, or we're happy to answer anything? I'll piggyback on one thing Monica said about the leaders were really great. And what they did do is they were very good about really relating how does this event, your struggle now, relate to what happens in the classroom? Like when you're working on a math problem and you're trying 15 different ways to solve it, how do you normally handle it? Do you just close up the book and walk away? So it's kind of interesting how they were able to relate it to how this relates to your day-to-day life as a student. And I think that was I think I took it to a different level than I expected from the leaders as to what they brought to the table. And I thought it was great because kids were able to make the connection as to how I'm struggling now, but I keep on going because I'm part of a group and I want to succeed. Well, that's the same thing you can be doing when you're figuring out some really tough math problems. And can I ask for help? Or who can I ask? So it's all kind of very interwoven. That's why I think it was such a valuable experience for all of the kids.
Great. So if we could open it up to questions now, if anyone has any questions for Ms. Usted, Ms. McSweeney, or Ms. Bermise. Mr. Swadowitz is also on the call, so if there's any questions.
And Dr. Laub is here as well.
Oh, okay, great. Thank you.
So again, if you're maybe at work and you're kind of just like have an earbud in on this, if you want to just type something in the chat, we can respond that way as well.
Okay. Okay, well, if there aren't any questions, you know how to reach everyone. Obviously, everyone is willing and able to communicate with you, so feel free to call or email. Everyone is very approachable. And if you have any questions too that you have for the PTO, you can email us. We're happy to field those. But other than that, I think that was great presentation. Thank you everyone from the middle school for all that information. And I will, I guess, just wish everyone a good day. Thank you so much. And we'll see you next time.
Thank you.
Thanks.